Welcome back to Askewed Reviews. Since today is Easter Sunday, I decided to do a somewhat Easter themed movie. So I am doing the 2018 horror comedy Rottentail. Here is your trivia question for today. What does the cross in Pastor Jake Mulligan's office double as? The answer will be at the end of this video. The main character of our story is a boy named Peter Cotton, a socially awkward child whose only friend is his pet rabbit. Now, unfortunately, he falls in love with a young girl named Anna Banana. The unfortunate part is not that that's her name, but that she's currently dating the school bully Jake Mulligan, who is such a terrible person that he in fact kills Peter's rabbit right in front of him. We now flash forward many years, where Peter is now fully grown and is a scientist working at a secret government lab hidden underneath the Star Chewing Gum Company. He is currently trying to cure infertility by experimenting with rabbits. Unfortunately for Peter, he still gets bullied in his adult life. The general that runs the lab absolutely disrespects him. His own coworker, Dr. Stanley, treats him like trash, and in fact, has been working on a mutant rabbit, although he would prefer if he could get his hands on a Wolverine. Now, outside of work, Jake Mulligan has found religion and become a pastor, although he's one of those televangelist types that is going to charge you $19.95 to get baptized, and he has plans to completely tear down old Easter Falls and turn it into 10,000 square feet of holiness. Now, Anna, who is all grown up, takes a lot of issue with this, as her father, who has passed away, had a church in old Easter Falls and wants to stop Jake from destroying it all. And then, of course, the accident happens. Peter unfortunately tries to free the mutant rabbit, but in doing so is bit, and his fertility formula gets spilled into his wounds. So they mix together and begin to change him on a molecular level. Peter begins to change on a physical level too. First his hands, then his teeth, then he begins pooping pellets, and eventually he becomes Rottentail. And of course, all of this happens during the week of Easter. Now, would it surprise you to find out that this whole story comes from the concept of a graphic novel of the same name? Brian Skiba was the director of this film, and you can see him standing here next to Corin Nemec holding the mutant rabbit puppet from this movie. Now, what's interesting is Brian Skiba also directed the movie Blood Moon Rising, which you can see very briefly on the television in Rottentail. Here are some of my favorite things about this movie. The sequence where Rottentail grabs the general by his junk and is launching him into the walls had me rolling with laughter. I really did enjoy the end of the movie with the very obvious cycle continuing with the whole mutant rabbit thing. And in all honesty, the thing I was most impressed with this movie was Corin Nemec's performance as Rottentail. It honestly gave me a lot of Beetlejuice vibes, and that's a lot of praise in my opinion. Now, keeping that performance in mind, and the fact that you could tell from the beginning this movie was supposed to be bad because it was funny bad, I'm actually going to give it a hippity hop up, one review point, and I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. Now, as for the trivia question from the beginning of the video, what does the cross in Pastor Jake Mulligan's office double as? It doubles as a gun rack for his shotgun, because what holy man doesn't need a weapon in his office? I hope you enjoyed this episode of Askewed Reviews. If there is any movie you'd like to see get a review, go ahead and mention it in the comments. And as always, like, comment, share, and subscribe.